Welcome back. So, in the last module, we looked at the dictionary definition of what communication actually means, as well as thinking about people that we ourselves find it difficult to communicate with. So we're going to be taking that a step further now. We're going to be looking at the concept of noise. So we discussed encoding and decoding in the last module also, where the encoder is the person, for example, with the message, who is then sending it to the person to decode the message. However, there could be a situation where there is noise in between, and it's often the case, and minimizing the noise ensures better communication. If there is noise present, then it can cloud the perception of the message from the sender to the receiver. Now, there's two main types of noise, or two classifications as I like to put it, and those are external and internal. Now, this is going to be on your handouts as well. You can find the link to handout 3 within this module. Please download it and print it off if you could, or you can fill it in on your laptop, and then you will be able to just get a better idea of internal and external noise that you come up against when you are perhaps talking to the difficult person that you came up with in the previous modules. So, for example, maybe it was your boss, or maybe it was one of your children. You find it difficult to communicate with them. Now you could look at why. Why exactly might that be? So, external noise, for example, could be the environment. It could be a noisy environment, or there could be a lot going on. Maybe you're communicating with a pet, for example, and you're trying to train your dog, but your dog's not listening to you, and it's because there's lots of other dogs everywhere. So that is a form of external noise. Language, I mentioned this last module as well. Yeah, you could be speaking a different language. That could be a language barrier. Again, that's noise that will disrupt the communication flow. There could also be competency or jargon, maybe too technical. If you are trying to explain something to a subordinate, an employee, or someone above you, there could be an issue there with regards to technical terms that aren't completely understood by the other party. The method of delivery might not be completely correct. Some people like to absorb information differently to others. Studying NLP for many years, and if you have as well, you may have heard of a concept called VAK, which is visual, auditory, and kinesthetic, and it's sort of different learning styles, different ways that people like to absorb information. Some people are visual learners, some people are auditory, they like to hear things before it really goes in, and other people are kinesthetic, they like to touch it, they like to feel it, they like to practice it and do it themselves. It could be a delivery method that is causing the noise in communication here, for example. So there could be many different reasons, or it could be just something as simple as sort of hearing difficulties or accents. So those are just some examples of the external noise features. Please use the handout to come up with your own also in your own specific circumstances, because this will really help you to build on your communication skills yourself. Now, with regards to internal, this is when we look at, for example, emotions. Love, anger, hate, all of those emotions can get in the way of our communication. Apathy as well, if there's no enthusiasm, especially if you're receiving communication from someone who is not enthusiastic. It's very hard to be enthusiastic about something that someone is displaying no enthusiasm for, and vice versa. Culture differences as well, there could be a misunderstanding there and noise in the middle of the communication due to culture differences. A lot of the time as well, listening can be a barrier, or lack of listening. Active listening is always the best, and we'll be talking about active listening again a bit later on in the course, but we've all been in the situation where, for example, we're talking to somebody and they're looking at their phone, or we go into a shop and the person who's supposed to be serving us is talking to someone else and not seeming as if they're very interested in whatever our issue or whatever we're looking to purchase is. So lack of listening can really sort of break rapport. It all comes down to rapport at the end of the day, but listening is a big one, so we'll be focusing on that in quite a lot of detail later on. Within the realms of trust as well, trust and actually mistrust. So maybe somebody's telling you something and you're not fully confident in their ability, so you're not completely focusing on everything that they're saying because you believe in some way that you maybe could do it better, or maybe you mistrust them, so you're actually looking to find ways that you can really show that they are not trustworthy. Whatever they are saying is not correct. So it could be a positive and negative aspect. Well, they're both negative in a way. There's one form of not trusting completely, and the other form is not trusting at all, complete mistrust, which is a complete breakdown of communication there if there is mistrust in the relationship or in the conversation, in the interaction. Hierarchy as well can also cause noise within interactions and communications, relationships, etc. So if you could please then have a look at handout 3 and fill in your own internal and external sources of noise, things that get in the way for you. What internal sources of noise gets in the way for you, and what external sources get in the way for you in your day-to-day communication or in your business communication. Also have a look and fill in what you can control and what you can't control. Obviously, some communication noise is going to be beyond our control. But what can we control? So try and work on those. When you work out the ones that you can control and you can build on them and improve on them, your communication will gradually become more effective and more streamlined. So work through that handout number 3 then, please, and I will speak to you in the next module. Many thanks.